And they mess up news. Grieving family mourns wrong body after a funeral mix-up, which is just mind-boggling to me. Because how can the people at the funeral home like confuse bodies when I'm assuming that they're gonna have like names on the coffins of each person, so they know the right people to bring to the church, so this doesn't happen. So relatives thought a family matriarch had changed in death when they passed her open coffin, but later learned that they had paid respects to the wrong person. Now imagine if, like, say my grandmother had died and it was somebody else's grandfather, or even if my grandmother died and there was another grandmother in that casket. Imagine if everybody paid their respects and kissed the face or whatever, and they later found out it was the wrong person. That would just mentally screw me up for the rest of my life, like knowing that they screwed up and I didn't get to pay my last respects to my grandmother. That would just be absolutely awful. So the grieving family knows something had changed about Val Jean McDonald, who was the one that passed away, as they found past her open casket, but put it down to death and the raving effects of the cancer that had killed the 81-year-old woman. So this woman, Val Jean McDonald, had died of cancer at 81 years old. 81 isn't that old per se, because my grandparents are like in their mid-70s right now and they're doing very good. So 81 to die of cancer is pretty crazy. Mourners who kissed the face of the body lying in the coffin in the Union Baptist Church in New York, Harlem's neighborhood, were horrified to learn that they had been paying the respects to the wrong woman. Which I would like, when you pay all that money. I'm assuming funerals are very, very expensive. So imagine paying all that money and coming to find out that the person you're paying your respects to is the wrong one. That's just, I would personally be very angry, because when you waste all that money because it's the wrong person, even though it's sad that that person had died, but you would feel mutually angry for the woman that is in that casket that is not your family, and the other person's family didn't get to mourn the loss of their family. So both of you should be mutually angry at this funeral home, Union Baptist Church. Well, it's not really the church's fault. It's more the funeral home's fault for mixing up the bodies. So the mistake only came to light when the workers at McCall's Bronxwood Funeral Home, which is the funeral home that screwed everything up in the Bronx, began making preparations for the other woman's ceremony and realized it had already taken place. So somebody screwed up somewhere, mixed up the bodies when they were getting ready for this family's funeral, and they realized that the body was already gone. The error was proven beyond doubt when McDonald's sons were asked to identify the body of the woman remaining in the parlor, and it basically confirmed that it was the mother, that they had already been cremated. So they basically thought that their mother was going to be. So this woman was already cremated. What I'm getting from this article is that I think Val Jean McDonald was cremated by mistake, and they wrongly identified the woman that was actually in the casket with not being the mother. Now the funeral parlor has promised to reimburse the McDonald's, which they should, because it wasn't their fault. It was obviously the funeral home's fault for the massive mix-up. The dead woman's 8 sons, of one who was traveled from Australia to attend, said they had been blinded to the mistaken identity by tears of grief and the fact that the woman in the casket was wearing their mother's clothes and jewelry. So I'm assuming that the funeral home knew that they screwed up when they were planning it, because they realized when they were in preparation for the funeral. So they tried to disguise this woman that was not their family member. They basically tried to disguise this woman as being somebody else's body, but putting their family's jewelry and clothes on the woman, trying to disguise of that wrong person being the right person. Although they were puzzled that the hair had been cut short, the young children, who was 10 years old, did raise questions, but they were told by the adults that their grandmother's appearance had changed after death, which I can see how why they would lie to the kids, saying that, oh, this isn't your grandmother's body. They screwed her up because the kids are only 10 years old, and I wouldn't want to scar my kid like that. I'd rather just lie to them, maybe tell them down the road, like when they're 18, 19 years old, about like the real truth about what happened at that funeral. But it's just a crazy article in general about funeral parlors mixing up the bodies and then trying to disguise it up like they didn't mess up, when they knew in preparation that they did in fact screw up the bodies. So if you guys want to check out this article for yourselves, the link will be down in the description box below. The link for last week's news article is also down there also, if you want to check that out. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. I will see you guys next week. Peace. New life news. Homeless man who helped catch an escaped prisoner gets a $100,000 reward. Now this to me, you can go from